Alright, so this is going to be a re-record of my Skarner jungle. It's at 1560 rating, I believe, and I was only playing him because I, in fact, was last pick and got stuck with jungle, even though I'm pretty decent at a Skarner. I have to re-record it because my first time through my voice was not transmitting to the game for some reason. So I'm just gonna cast while I watch me play again. This is only my first time watching this video. I did actually play it before, so I have a somewhat idea of what happens, but I think that it should be like me watching a game I've never watched before. I don't remember exactly what happens. I do know I do pretty well and the team wins, but aside from that, it would be basically an analysis and my thoughts playing the Skarner as we go through the game. The first thing I do in Skarner is I start boots and 3 health potions. Sometimes you'll see people start with the regrowth pendant, which is the green one, in the item window right there. I start with boots because if you get a good leash on blue after you get red, you'll be able to gank. And if you start regrowth pendant, you won't have enough health. Well, you will have enough health, you won't have enough speed to catch someone, and that's why I like to start with the boots. Even though the boots and these health potions, you will end with lower health after you finish a jungle path than you would with a regrowth pendant and 1 health potion. You can see the Rise has good position to guard me if I play middle, and you see on my Vladimir videos that I will walk up to the middle between the 2 towers so I can scout to see if they're invading, and I'll eventually make my way to the bush where the Rise is standing. That ping right there is good because sometimes teams will go up on the top of the map and they'll sneak around into that blue bush, and if for some reason that Udyr was not standing in that bush, then they'll just come down and they'll kill me while I'm going to blue, and then they'll steal my blue and I'll just have a pretty bad start. This game's pretty good. For Skarner, you pretty much need blue at the beginning. He's kind of like a Moo, where if you invade him and steal his blue, then he's going to be a lot slower because he has to spam his Q. If I remember correctly, this Udyr goes to top lane, and that's not what you want to do if you're playing top. You definitely want to help the jungler kill him blue just so he doesn't lose so much health. And you'll see that this Udyr doesn't help, so this is actually not an optimal path at all. What I do is I don't like to smite the blue if I know it's not going to get stolen, but I'll usually end with about 75% health if the guy did help. I save my smite because I want it for the red, just because the red guy hits harder. So one thing you want to do as a jungler is you want to identify which lane is doing the worst. And so you'll see me pop up the character screen a lot just to see the CS differences and who has the kills, who's doing well, who's not. And you want to go to the lane where the guy needs help, basically. And in this game, it's going to be top lane, so you'll see me going top quite a bit. So I do have smite here, I'm not going to die, but I would most likely not have enough health to do golems just because I didn't get help on the blue. So at that point, I usually end with more health and I'm looking to gank. And it looks like bottom right now would be a pretty good place to gank because they're pretty pushed, you're going to catch them, and if Nunu lands a slow, I get a red on them, then they're definitely going to be killed. And sometimes they don't even put the ward up there right now, so they won't even know I'm coming. But because Udyr didn't help me with the blue, I wasn't able to kill the golems, so I'm pretty far behind right now. And if you're looking at the map, actually all these lanes are pretty easy to gank. The middle is toughest lane just because it's smallest, but this Morgana's pushing pretty far. And bottom is not pushed as much as the other lanes, so I'm going to go top right now, try to get the Jax. Just because I can see he has more minions than our Udyr has, and he's in pushed position right now. And also the thing about top lane is top lane doesn't usually buy a ward. They usually go with cloth 5 health potions or boots 3 health potions, and because of that they're pretty gankable. Unfortunately right there I wasn't able to gank because the Maokai was right there, so I'm coming back down here to do wolves, and I most likely will go back up and get the Jax, hoping the Maokai left. So you can see there's this minion, so he'll see me again, but I'll just kind of scare the Jax. The Jax knows you're there, and he'll most likely back off so the Udyr can get farm. I don't know if Maokai was in that bush. That's the reason I backed off and the reason Udyr did yellow ping. But definitely top is the lane that I need to help the most, as you can see through the character screen right there. He's well behind in CS and he needs more help than anyone else. That's not to say I won't be attacking any of the other lanes, because if there's definitely a kill opportunity, you always want to take it and get your team ahead. As you can see, middle lane's kind of hard to gank. You see the Morgana's always past the midpoint. The only way to gank a mid is if they're past that midpoint, but she's standing behind it, so just even with the speed increase on W, it's impossible to gank a middle unless I have R. And in this case, Morgana has spell shield, so I'll never be able to ultimate her. So I'm gonna go up top again. See, he needs help. Still needs help. You can see his health is lower, his CS is lower, and I just gotta make Jax think I'm always gonna gank him. And right now I'm thinking I'm gonna go back because I need to finish my Philosopher's Stone. And I have enough gold to complete that, so I'll probably get this CS that Udyr's gonna miss. He's yellow pinging me for some reason, but there's no way he's gonna get that CS. So just take it. I don't want to push his lane because he most likely doesn't want it pushed. And here I go. I'm going for another gank on Jax. You see, this is basically my 4th attempt at top lane. It's the first time I actually get damage on Jax. And I know Jax is stronger than me since I'm a jungler, and the only way to catch him would have been to push him through the tower. So I back off and I sit in this bush right here, hoping that he comes up here and Udyr can respond with a stun, because I have a slow. So I go on a gank attempt and just doing some damage, hoping I help the Udyr out. And I'll probably port here, just because that was about 2 attempts, and I need to get blue, get red again. Red will be spawning, and hopefully I'll either be able to help Udyr again, or some other lanes will push, and I'll be able to get kills off of that. So because I was top and I had to port, and we have no vision on blue, I'm not sure if they stole the blue or not, but you usually want to get blue as soon as possible. And I actually don't even get this blue just because you don't want to give it to a Rise when he has no HP. So definitely our blue is up for a lot longer than it should be, but it's just how the game turned out. It's definitely looking like I can get a gank off that. And our red was up, so they're attacking our red. I'm trying to get some damage here. I know I'm in a bad position, but I know my team is coming, so I flash and hopefully get away by engaging that fight right there. You see Rise got a kill in there. They'll most likely get that kill. And if Udyr has flash, they'll catch him. I'm not actually sure if they kill that guy because Urgot also has flash. But that's a good opportunity to get another kill, and they did in fact kill that Urgot. So I'm going up top to, you saw I was clicking towards the tower. I was going to stop the lane if Udyr did not go back up top, but right there I wanted to, I saw he was moving towards top after he helped middle, and so now I was going to go behind and gank. I think at that point I turned back just because I realized that I'm going to hit 6 off this blue golem, and so I can get blue for Rise, which will help him a lot in middle, give him cooldown and infinite mana. And I'll probably gank top again with my ultimate when I do see a Jax up there. If you're curious about my masteries, I go the default 20-21 in defense, just to be a tanky presence. You want all the cooldown reductions, masteries that are possible, but you also have to go 9 in utility for the mana regen, just because you are a spammy character and you spam your Q quite a bit. So when you don't have blue, and you saw I could give up that blue right there, then you'll need that extra regen from masteries and the Philo Stone just to stay on top of your mana. So what I'm hoping right here is I'm hoping that because they're pushing, that they're going to dive on this Udyr. I'm hoping the Jax and the Maokai come around and go straight on our tower, and they won't see me, and then I'll be able to counter their push. But because they're not, I'm going to just go try to fight them. I know I have my ultimate, and I see Rise coming, so there I ult the Jax. That was actually not the best play by Rise. I'm not sure why this is lagging, but I'll rewind here. Let's see if it fixes. Maybe my computer was lagging at that point. But here I go, I ult the Jax, but the Rise roots at this. He roots in my ultimate. So yeah, it must have been my internet lagging or my computer for some reason. But that was definitely Rise should have waited, or I should have waited, because we stacked our CC, and we might have been able to kill Jax if we didn't. And even the Udyr, he stunned while he was ulted. But it's definitely not optimal. We probably could have killed the Jax if we did our CC better. So here's a really good gank by me. It's a good opportunity to get a kill. I come in from the lane, and they're actually already fighting on bottom. So because people don't usually ward the lane, I expected that they would not see me there. And here I go, I perma-slowing the Taric, and now I back off because I want the Graves to get the kill while the tower's on me. You usually, if you're a jungler, you don't want to take the kill, just because you having a kill is good, but it's not as effective as an AD or a middle lane, a top lane gain the kill. Even though you really want the kill so your record looks good, it's definitely not the best to take. At that point right there, I was thinking maybe we could have dragoned, just because we got 2 kills on bottom, and then they'd have a 2v3 against us if they did want to dragon. but they were probably coming down to support just because they were there so quick, and our HP was kind of low because of the tower dive. So really was, we maybe could have got the dragon if they didn't have it warded, but because they did, then we're not going to get the dragon just because their HP is so high and they have a Morgana with an AoE ult. Even the Maokai has an AoE ult, but he's not a threat like a Morgana is with the stun. So again, the only way I could have got Morgana there is if she pushed up and walked her character up to where those minions were, just because it takes so long to get from that side bush to the middle where their character is. I help Udyr out with a ward right there. He definitely needs the wards when he's losing his lane. So it's good to help your guy out. I have another one to put where I want. Will most likely be on bottom side, probably in their jungle, so I can see where when they get their blue. One thing about Skarner is early game, he's not strong at all compared to other junglers. In a 1v1 fight, he will probably lose unless you have red buff, and they don't have red buff. But he does scale really well. Once you get that cooldown reduction, his Q comes up so much, he has that shield, and he's just really hard to kill. And he has a really good initiate. Right there you saw I ulted Jax to help Udyr. They unfortunately didn't kill him. We got him really, really low, but would have been nice to get that kill. So here I'm running as quick as I can down bottom, just because they dove the tower, so they're pretty low. But with that Morgana there, I don't see us getting a kill, most likely. I thought the Maokai might be down here porting. I don't want him taking my golems or my reds, so I was trying to protect those, but they were a lot stronger than us. I wasn't really trying to fight a fight, especially with that Morgana. They didn't have the Morgana though. The middle is pretty strong. We could have probably taken them 3v2. So definitely with red buff, Skarner becomes really powerful. So I'm looking for ganks right now. Got about a 3 or 4 minute window with red that you want to get your ganks off. Even though I do have a perma slow, so you can still gank without red. It's just your damage is not close to what your potential with red buff is. And I think right here I'm going to put the ward on dragon. That's probably what I should have done. We don't have a ward on dragon, and I don't want them taking the dragon, even though they may already have, because of their fight on bottom. That looks like, so yeah, it looks like I don't even end up warding that area, which is definitely one thing you want to do as a jungler, is you always want to have dragon presence. Even if you're not a jungler, you want to know when they do dragon so you can stop them, and you want to know when your team gets dragon and write down the timer. So same thing here, I'm kind of waiting in this bush to see if they do dive. I saw Maokai come up top, so he's probably sitting in that bush to the right of Udyr. Udyr right there is probably trying to bait him out because he knows I'm there. And he puts the ward, so now I know Maokai's not there. Here we go, my ult's up. I'll probably try to get another ult on Jax if he stays. As Udyr starts a fight, I flash and I got the pull. We're both going to get stunned, but we'll most likely dive him at this point. We're pretty strong compared to the tower, and we actually don't even have to. So there's my first kill in a gank, and it's probably pretty late in the game, but it gets the Udyr back in the game. As you see, my next item I bought was Sheen, and because we got that kill, I can buy an Oracles. The Sheen is one item I like to buy early on Skarner, just because it increases his damage. Without it, you feel like you don't hit very hard. It's just because you're pressing Q so often. You'll see how big my hits are with Q and then without Q. It's just an extreme damage difference, and if the game goes really deep, I'll eventually get a Trinity Force, but this game unfortunately does not, so I won't be able to. They're pretty far, so I think I do ult Tarek. Actually, my ult wasn't up, that's why I didn't ult. Okay. So I didn't ult anybody, and I'm gonna go back, see if I can see what happened in that fight. I'm pretty strong, I have full HP. I don't remember. Graves and Nunu don't, so their HP on their team is overall higher than ours is. I'm exhausted, which is actually good for us. They don't want the Graves to be exhausted. Grave does a lot more damage than I do, but just because Urgot's really overall tanky, and they started with more HP, that they come out with this fight greater than we did. And you saw how that Graves walked back into the Urgot. He definitely could have gotten away with us, even though he probably would have lost the tower, which they most likely will lose the tower anyways right now, so definitely should have ran back instead of running straight back into the Urgot. Udyr's pinging me. Udyr wants another gank up top, and Jax thinks he's gonna get a kill. My ult just came up, so he jumped away when it was on cooldown, which is actually unfortunate for me because I was definitely in ult range. There's my ult. Try to pull him back and then slow him immediately. And he does finish off the Udyr, but I happen to get a kill. The Udyr probably could have left him. I most likely would have killed him from that HP, and he didn't have to stay. But he did. He got an assist. He probably got a lot of assist gold, but unfortunately he died, and Jax got a kill. So most likely was not in our favor, just because I got the kill. It may be, but Jax got the kill, and we really don't want Jax to get kills in this game. But we definitely would have gotten him a long time ago if my ult was up at the beginning. And unfortunately it had about 5 seconds left on the cooldown. Here we go again. I try to slow Urgot, and I realize I can't catch him because he flashed. That's why I turned back here and go on Tarek. You saw me leave early because I didn't want to take the kill from Graves and go here to tower dive Urgot. I don't know why the Graves didn't follow up. That's why we didn't kill that guy. So if you're playing an AD and you kill one and you have a 3v1, then most likely always going to get a kill if you dive. So if you were that Graves and you followed up on my attack, I'm tanking the turret, so you're not going to die as Graves, and there definitely should have been another kill, but the Graves didn't make the proper play. You also saw how I buy oracles really early. It's one thing on a jungler is it's really good to get the oracles, and even that Maokai has one, because you'll know if you're going to be able to gank a lane. You'll see if they have a ward, and if they do, you'll be able to kill it. If they don't, then you'll know that you have a free gank. So here I'm running to blue because I know they want to steal it. At this point, Morg and Jax are about equal in strength. I'm only able to catch the Morg though, so I flash and ult her. And here we go, I want to chase her down so our other lanes can converge on her. And you can see that Nunu's running here because he recognizes we're fighting. And we're definitely going to get another kill on this Morgana here. If possible, I don't want to take the kill, so give it to Udyr just because I know it's a sure kill. And now is a great chance to Dragon because we just dropped their top lane and their middle lane. Fortunately, the Dragon's not there. So usually if Dragon's not there and your team has pressure, you want to push up to the blue here. I know I'm stronger than Maokai. I can't pull him because I don't have my ult, and I'm not strong enough to dive, especially with an Urgot there. So I just back off, and we'll either fight here or try to take their blue. I definitely want no business with Jax just because he's a top lane character. So he should be about equal to our Udyr. I'm running back here just to see if I can get something, but I want to be safe. I don't want to get ulted by Morgana. I don't want to take any damage just because I know I'm a lot stronger. So all I do right there is I ult Taric, and that's an extra kill that we probably would not have had if I didn't come back. Now we take the blue. I really don't need blue at this point, so I just smite it to get my 10 gold from the Mastery. That'll help Rise out a little bit. I typed game changer right there just because we got 3 kills, we got their blue. If we got a dragon right there, that would have been even stronger. You see some people on Skarner, what they'll do is they'll rush Shurelya's, and what that lets you do is you're almost guaranteed to always ult their AP or their AD. And so I'm thinking about it, but I think we're ahead right now, and so I don't want to get rid of my gold per 5 just because we're winning. If we were losing, I probably would have made this Shurelya's, but because we're winning, I'm going for a Frozen Heart this game for the cooldown reduction and the cooldown reduction, and it's just really good to counter a Jax specifically in this case. So my ult's not up. We only have 3 while they have 4, so I'm trying to pull out here, though we are getting kills. I most likely will go back in. My ult's up in 2 seconds, and I'll probably ult the Urgot if I'm capable of doing that. I should be able to get him. I have perma-slow and Graves. Graves was with me, so with the speed buff and Graves and perma-slow, Graves would catch him if he's chasing. And if that guy get roots on, we're gonna get the Taric as well on a dive. I come back, I trying to slow the Morgana once her spell shield goes off, and we may even kill her. And we do. So they're definitely making bad plays right now. This is what your team doesn't want to happen. It's what people say is throwing the game right now or whatever. So definitely in a good position. If we get the next dragon, we get Baron, we're definitely gonna win this game. As long as we don't make those mistakes that they're making right now. So I think I'm hoping right now I can make the Glacial Shroud, but I can't, so probably do nothing. Probably just go out and Hope that dragon spawns. I'm really powerful right now for a jungler because I've gotten an assist on most of the kills in this game. You see I'm 1 in 12, so there's only been 4 kills without me. And what we want to do is when you're winning, you want to push. So I think I pinged the middle here because I want our team to group up. And I'm really strong. I know I'm strong, but I don't want to risk fighting a 3v5 right now. So I just pull back and wait for the rest of my team to come. We definitely need our Nunu here. We need our Graves. Nunu's porting, so they'll most likely take this turret. That Ryze got caught, so it's definitely not good. But I was able to pull the Urgot, and because of that, I think I forced him to dive. You see, they didn't even take that middle turret. And I'm going out trying to slow people, then I'll pull back once my HP gets low. And we won that fight, and they didn't get the middle turret, so definitely came out in a strong position right there. And we can't Baron right now, so I don't know why they're pinging that. Maybe they're pinging where their team is, which was pretty obvious, but we're hoping dragon spawns right now. We can get a dragon. It does look like dragon spawn, so probably ping the dragon. If I don't, I'll definitely walk over there, because with their team, 2 people dead on their team, then we're going to be able to get the dragon and get even more of an advantage than we have right now. And there's the surrender, so definitely probably would have won. They could have fought on a little bit longer, but they've lost this 2 team fights that they've had all their 5 people there. So you start losing team fights, especially after 20 minutes, it's pretty much a done game. And you can see, yeah, I was 1560, so now I'm 1571. That was pretty solid Skarner game, and that's how you play 'em.